at, yet he had promised that he will stop these abductions. That is very telling that many leaders, top leaders in the ruling coalition, feel free and feel comfortable to dismiss this right in front of the president. But Poghisio.
And I don't know why a function like that, like a respectful mama is being buried, and all of a sudden the sympathies for the family disappear. It becomes politics. And that's why I keep saying that why do politicians now have to wait for someone to die for funeral? Why do we say Pole to the family, Wetangula's family? It became a place of anger. You know, by the way, if you listen to the majority leader in the National Assembly and the way he spoke, you would think he's the president of the country, or he's a minister in charge of something. He's just the majority leader. The majority leader takes care of the National Assembly issues, and the way he came out, you have reason now to either agree that he was right or to sue him for libel. I mean, the way he called Natembeya, and Natembeya was there. Why didn't they just arrest him? I mean, everybody was there. They should have just arrested him right there. If he's the killer, if he's actually the suspect and the person who killed people and threw them in Yala, why is he still walking free? So I think sometimes the statements we make the function irrelevant. And I think the innocence of the government has been erased by those statements. Whatever Ichung'wah said, whatever people, everybody who spoke there actually erased what we thought was the innocence of the government about these abductions. And basically simply said, abductions are here to stay. Mm-hmm. So and I thought that was very, very, very reckless. And I think when we get to a place of where people are somber, we should maintain that somberness. And I think this is what I should say to whether you go to church where the situation is the same. Where I don't understand what angered people about what Natembeya said. Because Natembeya simply said what is obtaining in the newspapers. You can read it in the newspapers. You can hear it in the news. He just simply said, these kids of ours. And now, I'm a parent of Gen Zs. Most of these guys are parents of Gen Zs. And for you to be told, go talk to your children, who are you talking to when they're dead or they've been abducted? And I think a sense must come to this country where we start to address these issues as leaders, across the board. Let's not divide ourselves into government and non-government when it comes to this kind of situations. Government and opposition should not exist. We should come and talk about what's ailing our country. And what's ailing our country is not one thing. Abduction is one thing. But what's ailing our country is many things. And it's about time we called ourselves. The way the president is handling it is by calling individuals to government. And I'm saying let's call all leaders to a table and talk about this country, this 2025, before we get to the elections, which is very bad. Are we saying we are now weaponizing politics? Okay? Because now I see people, the groups are coming now and forming, including Mungiki and others, forming, so that we do what to each other? Mm-hmm. I think the country needs to come together and say, who are we to each other? How are we related to each other? And this country, what are our children watching? What are we looking at? So I believe it's about time that we began a reconciliation of the people of Kenya. Otherwise, if we go this way, by 2027, we might create another situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the debate on those political platforms, Senator, has